Well, King Charles is now officially the king.
Yeah.
That's what's popping. I'm sure all of us watched the coronation ceremony. Harry was there. Meghan was not there because it was Archie's birthday. Harry was not allowed to wear his uniform because he's not a working royal now, but he was allowed to wear his medals. Yes, and black people sang at the coronation.
So I'm seeing a lot
and everybody's angry about that.
Yeah, there was a choir of black singers who sang very beautifully.
Yes, they did.
But I saw them catching a lot of shade on social media saying, how do you go and sing for the people that colonized you?
Yeah.
And then I think Tiwa Savage sang at the after coronation event, night event.
Yes.
And then
Lionel Richie as well.
And then even them were targets of all these attacks saying, so what is it that people want? That as long as there is anything that can be perceived to be a legacy of colonialism, that you must absolutely distance yourself from it.
People are so upset about it, and I think it's probably people who are in support of Meghan Markle. But let me read you some of the comments. Somebody said, so black people can sing for the family, they just can't marry into it. Got it. Imagine that.
Know your place.
Exactly, which is very fun. A lot of people were actually very upset about, black people singing for them. And then another one went on to say, the irony of the black choir performing is not missed on me, but by all means, carry on. And then other people went on to comment about the age of King Charles and his wife, that is Queen Camilla. And they go on to say, one person went on to say, that melting skin says it all. Be blessed. Another person went on to say, but how old are these guys? Aren't we going to be replacing them like next week? People are so mean.
But a lot of people were saying that, what's her name? William's wife, she called Kate.
Yes, Kate Middleton.
That she crushed it.
Yes.
Like she was regal, well poised,
she's always
elegant.
Regal.
She kind of stole the show.
She actually always is. If there's anybody who has been able to keep it together, it's that lady. And big up to her.
So then what happens? So now he's king. He's been crowned the king. And so what happens? Does the world change?
I guess go back to business as usual. However, Prince William did pay a tribute to his father, that is King Charles III, at the coronation concert that happened on Sunday. And he did go on to say, and I quote, "We are all so proud of you." And he went on to evoke the memory of his grandmother, that is the late Queen Elizabeth. And he went on to say, and I quote, "I know she's up there fondly keeping an eye on us, and we would be very and she would be a very proud mother." That's what he went on to say.
Now, interestingly, Charles was at his mother's coronation. I saw a picture of him as a little boy peering through the window as during his mother's coronation procession. Yeah. It then occurred to me that in all likelihood, Charles, or rather... William, rather. Wait, what was I going to say? Wait, I think I have it mixed up. I was going to say Charles was not going to be there for William's coronation, but neither was Elizabeth for Charles's. So I guess it's the same thing. But it's interesting how, the legacy of the royal family is just continuing. And there seems to be a desire for a lot of people to maintain this tradition. Yeah. It may not be a very relevant institution for any political significance, but culturally, I think the people of the UK and even around the world still feel very attached to this institution. Yes. And for those of us who are citizens of countries that were colonized, I feel like a lot of us have moved past it and are kind of appreciating the British monarchy for what it is, rather than seeing it as a force of evil that may or may not have oppressed us in the past. Me personally, I can't easily get on the oppression bandwagon because I feel like our own leaders since independence have oppressed us more than the British monarchy ever did. A lot of the things that came into being during the time that the British had colonized us, many of those things were actually good things. Our hospitals, many of our schools, the infrastructure, the parliament, Mulago, all these were constructed during the era of colonialism. So to say that they were just nothing but evil isn't something I can easily get on board with, especially when compared to the evil that our own leaders have subjected us to for the last 50 years.
And are still subjecting us to. But anyway, Prince William went on and highlighted that the king's commitment to environmental causes, and he went on to say, saying that the king, and I quote, he went on to say, warned us of the risk of our planet's health long before it was an everyday issue. And he also commented that the king's charitable contributions through his foundation, that is the Prince's Trust, which William said has supported over 1 million young people, many from disadvantaged backgrounds, to realize their ambitions. And he went on to say, and I quote, Pa, that's because that's how he calls him, Pa, as we call him King Charles III, for him calls him Pa, we are all so proud of you. That's what he said. And he wrapped up his brief speech by thanking the millions of people who serve in the forces, in classrooms, in hospital wards, and local communities, giving his own pledge to serve as well.
So is it a good thing that at least, I know Harry was there, as you mentioned, but nothing came of it? Like, there wasn't anything scandalous that might have emerged from that. He just sort of came in quietly. He was mostly ignored. I don't think he even sat in the front, did he?
No, I didn't. I don't know. I was not paying attention. You see?
Exactly. No one cares.
Oh my God.
about Harry.
I feel horrible.
And I think he left for the US the same day.
The same day, yes.
So yeah, you know what? I'm glad that he's been being forgotten, and now that no one cares about his wife either, perhaps we can put those two behind us. And just
we
get on with life.
We can move on with our lives.
We can move on with our lives.
So King Charles III was crowned at Westminster Abbey, and that was in London on Saturday. And well-wishers did pack the streets, and everybody was, very happy and very merry. But I do want to read one comment from a gentleman who did comment under this post, and he goes on to say, and he's British, or rather English. He goes on to say, a lot of Americans have this idea that our royal family or England are racist. It's not true at all. Nobody was concerned about the color of Harry and Meghan's baby. Harry is pretty irrelevant in terms of the crown. We were sad about the fact that they threw away an opportunity to become inspirational leaders in favor of money and ego. He goes on to say, Meghan and Harry are both proven liars at this point, with contradicting comments recorded on camera. And he goes on to say, they haven't even said anything interesting and have made ridiculous amounts of money from it.
Yep.
The average person here, whatever their skin color, doesn't care that deeply about any member of the royal family, but we do love our ceremonies, an excuse to party with our loved ones.
I like that.
I like this comment. When I said it, it's like, I must read it. And it's from a gentleman, and he goes by the name of Forget Conversion.
Well,
Forget
good on
Conversion,
him.
yeah.
So who represented Uganda at this thing?
I don't
Was
know.
there anyone from Uganda there?
I don't know.
Our president wasn't there.
Of course not. He had other things to do.
Not
He has
even
bigger problems.
Kabaka of Buganda, I think. Went.
Why would the Kabaka be there?
Well, because
He has his own problems in his own
historical-
kingdom.
historical ties, you would think.
Yeah.
But it looks like Uganda was all but ignored in all of this. So it's okay.
It is all right.
We'll
we
be
are fine. We are okay. We support it from here. However, a number of major TV networks here in Kampala, rather Uganda, did broadcast this live. So
Of course.
Yeah, they did. For me, I caught the
The
highlights.
slaves
after
that we are.
Yeah, the slaves that we are. For me, I had to just catch the highlights because I was not going to watch the whole thing because, again, some of us have to work, okay?
Yeah. Well, good for the people of the UK and good for the people of the world, I guess.
And one more thing is that people were throwing shade at Camilla. And someone did say that this is a sign that as a side chick you can become queen one day. And a
How is
number
that
of
shade?
people kept on referencing Princess Diana. For me, I feel like we are all entangled in this romanticization of who Princess Diana was or who we thought she was, that we still carry that with us together, and it's okay. It's we are
But I don't
sentimental about it, but leave her out of it. Let Princess Diana, let her rest, and let Camilla enjoy her throne.
My question to you is, how is that shade? Because it's a victory for side chicks.
How is it a victory for side
She's
chicks?
an inspiration for side chicks.
Because
a lot of side chicks.
She's an official wife.
My
is
point.
She not?
Well, you see, eventually she became.
She's
one.
an official wife.
Eventually she became one.
But
Before
let
she
us
was
not
not.
act like as though Princess Diana was not having affairs either.
Well, yeah, we know that she was. Although they will say Charles started it first. And
Is
so
that
she-
so? How do we know that? We don't know that by fact.
Well,
We
the
know that
story
by
goes that Camilla actually had always been there. And so her and Charles had been close for a long time, and chances are they could have been seeing each other. And at least
So
according to
Diana
Diana,
was the side chick who was brought in after Camilla. So why are you calling Camilla a side chick?
oh, and by the way, you who likes complaining about age gaps,
Uh-huh.
apparently when Charles met Diana, she was 16.
That I had was an arranged marriage, and I do not support that.
Did you
and
know
I'm
that?
glad, and I'm yeah.
And I think
and I'm glad that he did not.
Was he in his 30s at the time? I'm not sure, but he was significantly older
Yeah.
than Diana. Maybe that might have been the recipe for disaster. Had they been closer in age, perhaps they would have gotten along better.
Like with Camilla, right?
Because to him, Diana might have come across as a child with whom he could not discuss serious things. So he had to always be talking to Camilla, who was closer in age, with whom he had things in common.
But we have established that Camilla was the first one in the picture, right? So stop calling her side chick. Let this
But I'm
woman
saying-
enjoy her throne.
But there are many women today who are secretly dating married men and are saying, putting these guys under pressure. When are you going to dump your wife? When are you going to dump your wife? And so the story of Camilla tells us, please keep calm. Your day will come.
They did have a 13-year age gap. You're right. She was 16 and Charles was 20 at the time.
20 or 30.
20.
But you
That's
said
right.
they had a 13-year age gap.
Yes.
So if she's 16,
Princess Diana was 16 when she met Prince Charles and 20 when she married him. They have a 13-year age gap between them.
okay.
Yeah.
And I know you do not approve.
I do not approve of it, and I'm glad that it didn't work out, but they do have two beautiful boys who we love. We love to hate at the same time. We
But it
can't
ended
deal
badly.
without. We
worst way
we
possible.
love them. We love them. We care for them, and we love their babies. You know, our nieces and nephews, us aunties and our social media uncles.
Well, they'll continue to fascinate us, this royal family.